But she love you, don't cut your... Brando Javinci is white. Limited Louis, that's light. Rape in the city, that's light. LED, look at the lights. We the ones don't like. But you look through light. Why even play with your life? Bank account looking like yikes. The ops on IG all the time. I dare them go live. Wagyu steak, I dine. 8 ounce, 255. I can't get fuck you with to groovy you me. If I ain't had love for me, I would've tried to get Nicki Minaj. J-Rock ain't gonna let you slide. Dory ain't gonna let you slide.
Get out of my way. It's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, bruising runner Leonard Fournette, fresh off 100 yards a week ago, as it'll be the Houston Texans taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Sunshine State in TIAA Bank Field here in Jacksonville. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Jaguar team. They come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And they looked awfully good last week and came away with a 2-touchdown victory. They did have a few reasons for concern defensively, but all in all, they'll take a repeat here if they could get it.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, they come in with some fresh legs as they got the week off last week thanks to the early season bye.
And usually you hope your bye comes a little bit later in the year, but when you get a chance to get fresh legs back, you take that time and you run with it.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So here's the first drive now for the Jags. They'll be led out by their quarterback from Central Florida. It's Blake Bortles.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
On the ground, this is Leonard Fournette. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. And now a look at the offense for Jacksonville.
Let's take a look at tight end Austin Seferian-Jenkins, or ASJ as his friends and all announcers like to call him because it's a whole lot easier. Second tight end drafted in 2014, but production was really lacking until 2017 with the New York Jets. Had 50 catches, which was more in his 2+ combined years with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Now Bortles throwing on second down. And Austin Seferian-Jenkins has it. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. Bortles to the former Jet Seferian-Jenkins for the Jags' first down.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a game in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
That's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the end routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
Green 80. Green 80.
Fournette, a first down carry. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. And a look now at the defense for Houston.
Versatile players on defense are all the rage in the NFL, but it also helps to have a Benardrick McKinney who does one thing very, very well, and that's tackle ball carriers. Big man. Big size inside, looks like a defensive end playing inside linebacker. Still has the ability to run and cut runners off before they can get downfield.
Green 80.
On second down, here's Fournette. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
So a good run by Fournette. Now another 1st and 10.
Set. Green 80.
Bortles on the give to Fournette. And they go backwards here. Losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Now they'll throw it. Bortles dumps it off to Fournette. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and it'll be 3rd and 10 now.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Let's go, let's go. Green 80. Green 80.
Throwing his Bortles on 3rd down. And complete here to Carlos Hyde. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. A gain of 26 on the 3rd down conversion. They're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this. And, hey, how you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want to
offer mine.
You were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it. They love it, because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sidelines thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Well, they've been practicing goal line offense all week. Let's see if they're able to capitalize here.
Set. Green 80.
They'll run high. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So that's going to move them half the distance.
First of all, you can't jump in this situation, but think about your play calling now. Could easily change what you want to do and maybe make things a little bit easier.
Here's another 2nd and goal, this time from half the distance closer. They'll try to punch it in with Fournette. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1. And now we'll get a timeout. Looks like we've got a Jaguar in some discomfort down there on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. Looking to cash in on this opening drive. Here's 3rd and goal.
4 down. Set. Green 80.
They'll run for it with Hyde. And he is going to lose yardage here. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
There are certain drives in a game where anything less than a touchdown that caps it feels like an absolute disappointment. This is one of those drives.
And Lambeau will put this one through, and the Jaguars grab a 3-0 lead.
So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. Leading the charge will be their quarterback, always fun to watch, Deshaun Watson.
And coming off of an early season open week. And in this situation, what he told us when we sat down with him was he spent a lot of time working on fundamentals, kind of getting back to basics during that time, as opposed to having to worry about healing up or resting up. It was too early in the season. Get back to the basics, get his game going again.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Now a first carry for Lamar Miller. And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
On 2nd down, here's Miller. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a 1st down, keep the sticks moving.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down.
Reset.
They'll run it here. This is Deontay Foreman. And he's going to take this across midfield into Jacksonville territory. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. They'll try the air now with Watson. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. Yannick Ngakoue in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
You call plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on. How about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
That one goes for 29 yards on 3rd down. A nice job there, Charles. They picked up the blitz, were able to complete the pass.
That had the total feel of a quarterback in control. Red blitz, got him into the right protection scheme, so he doesn't get hit back there. He's got a chance to step up with supreme confidence and deliver it downfield for a nice completion.
Reset. Two jet.
A first down carry now for Miller. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
A big hole there. How about him handling the point of attack? Just positioning himself so that run could go right off of his backside and deep into the secondary.
Watson on first down. Dumps it complete to Miller. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Lamar Miller, his second touchdown on the season. And the Texans are in for 6. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Here's Chandler Catanzaro for the extra point. Extra point up and good by Catanzaro. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And he gets it to the 30-yard line, but the football's not going to stay there. There's a penalty marker down.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
So that will push him back.
And now we know why I have a little extra space to run, don't we? An illegal block in the back, that penalty will move them back.
So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, here's Bortles. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, a sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion.
380.
Throwing on first down is Bortles. And this one caught along the sideline, but they say already out of bounds. Now the throw didn't give him a chance to turn it upfield, and that brings up second down.
That was a nice catch, but unable to stay in bounds. And remember, it wasn't a wide receiver who works on that all the time.
I was going to say, he likes to get the ball handed to him. Now, don't get me wrong, he's part of the passing game as well, but maybe a little out of his comfort zone there.
Yeah, he might want to have a few words to say to us about that later, but I am still going with you on that one. Wide receivers work on a little bit more. One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
From the gun on third down, Bortles. He's got the hook up to Reed. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And a big 32-yard play on third.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10.
380.
Here's a give to Fournette. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it second and a foot or so.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, Run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Jadeveon Clowney there on the stop.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
Bortles to throw on second down. And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville. DJ Chark, his first touchdown on the year. And the Jags are able to cash in for 6. Josh Lambo now for the point after. Point after by Lambo, up and good. And the lead is now 10-7. Here's Lambo out to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. After the run, Watson going to throw. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Two minutes remain here in the first half. Back with more from Jacksonville. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Watson going to give this one to Miller. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. And that led to a really nice game.
Watson hands this to Foreman. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success.
You got him. You got him. Reset.
Right back to him on first down. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
To throw on second is Watson. Underneath for Miller. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Lamar Miller with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Texans are in for 6.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Marty looking forward.
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
Point after now from Catanzaro. Extra point good by Catanzaro, and the lead is now 14-10. So the drive there took 6 plays, and the result, a Houston touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Leonard Fournette making his way back out there. Whatever he was doing in September, they're hoping that that carries over now to October because he was sensational last month.
He absolutely was, and we all know where it started at the end of last season, right? All the offseason preparation, the weight workouts, the sprints, right? The vision that he had, what he was going to do this season, and, of course, it all came together with the rest of the team. Those big fellas up front, leverage, and boy, are they getting downfield and creating extra blocks for him.
They really are. Everyone's been doing their job so far to create those holes. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Incomplete over the middle, Safarian Jenkins. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. Bortles now on first down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Lee. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. On first down, Bortles. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Bortles again here on 2nd and 10. Over the middle, hauled in by Sharp. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. He made his first attempt, this from 45. And Lambeau will put this one through. And the lead is down to 1 now at 14-13. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. The final
final shot before the break. Watson. And this will complete to Will Fuller. And they're able to get this one across the 35. You want the third quarter already? No problem. Let's do it. So we have reached halftime here. It's the visitors, the Texans, out in front. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And here comes the Texans now. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
See if they do just that. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Play action from Miller. Now Watson. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. And did the Jaguars come up with it? They did. A defensive-minded coach loves to bring the heat. Brought the heat there, and it worked out.
And nowadays, all those defensive-minded coaches, for them, it's all about getting the football. I went into one facility, and as soon as you walked into the defensive room, there was a football, like on a spring, and each guy that walks in that plays has to act like he's knocking the ball free. They want those instincts created. They want them to think about that all the time, and that's what they try to preach.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Let's go.
And yet again, this run game just continues to be completely shut off.
Completely stymied. I mean, they're trying to get some consistency, trying to find places to roam. They just haven't been there throughout this game.
Throwing now is Bortles. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
Well, that's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And Lambeau will put this one through. And with that, the lead changes hands here in this third quarter. That's his 3rd field goal now in the ball game, and they've needed his leg. This last one gives them the lead.
It's been a back-and-forth kind of a game, hasn't it? Now you got to tell your defense, guys, need you to make this stand up because we got the momentum going in the right direction, but we need you to make sure we carry it home.
The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive? A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown, but they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over.
Now this time he'll look to throw. On the crossing route, complete. It's Hopkins. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Watson in the offense going to come up 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 6 for 6 here to start the ball game.
Do that!
Here's a give to Miller. And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Reset!
Now Foreman. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stop that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
That's to his running back, complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. That's a fourth down pickup of 10 yards and an opportunity certainly missed on the defensive side.
Well, the field goal attempt was well in hand. They had that, but they decided to go for it anyway. Extreme confidence, it looks like.
Yeah, but I bet the defense is going to remember this one, right? They kind of rubbed their nose in it. Now it's Watson. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Demaryius Thomas, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down.
Well, they're slinging it. And then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown out of his reach and incomplete. Throw right side into the hands of Akins. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Jacksonville's pass defense holds serve, fourth down.
So it looked like maybe his third or his fourth read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And with that, they move ahead by a point here in this third quarter. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
And now out come the Jags. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it. No surprise there, Jadeveon Clowney with a tackle for loss. We all know how he became one of the most famous players in football, though, don't we?
Oh, that one play.
Yeah, that one big-time play was on highlights everywhere. They want to see more of that here in the NFL.
Yeah, it looks like a pickup of 6. That leaves them with 7 yards to go on third down.
On a second and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on third down. So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And a look now at Lamar Miller. We've seen him be good so far. He's hoping to continue that trend here in quarter number 3.
And typically when you see guys running it this well, they see the game in slow motion, don't they? They see the cuts happen. They see the blocks happen. They feel really good about their vision. And then they use their legs to find that open space.
And he's had some good help up front to boot. They begin with a run by Miller. Lamar Miller, touchdown, Houston.
Lamar Miller, his third touchdown of the game and fourth on the year. And the Texans will extend their lead. So he's in for his third score of the game, and the defense probably saying, man, we don't want to see this guy for a long time.
It's bad enough when anyone scores a touchdown against you, but for one person to get 3, it almost sets him apart from the rest of the game, and no one likes to see any of those players on a pedestal, not from the defensive point of view.
Now Watson, he's going to lead the Texans up to go for 2. They're going to keep it on the ground. And he will get into the end zone, and it's now a 2-score game as the lead moves to 9. So they try to make it a 2-score game with a conversion. It pays off.
And they've looked at the situation, figured it out well. A 2-score game in this situation, they've got to feel much better about where they are.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one taken from the 7. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Green 80. Green 80.
Now Bortles throwing on 2nd down. Lee's got it over the middle. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Jacksonville. It's Jaguar football, but a little work to do for them. They trail here as we start the 4th. The Jaguars on 3rd down. 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6.
Green 80.
From the gun, it's Bortles. Throw left side complete. It's Lee. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. That one a pickup of 15 for Jacksonville. Charles, this one not over, certainly, but you set the magic number earlier in this game at 20 points. Said that they would need to hold them right around that marker under it. What are you seeing here?
Well, that number is still in play because we said, okay, 20 or under gives them a chance to win.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Zach Cunningham with a pick. There he goes right side. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD.
short throw pick six right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
The defense more than did its job. Now the offense is summoned onto the field as they'll go for two. They're going to try and run. Able to spin free. And he will get into the end zone to bump the lead up to 3 scores. And there's a quick momentum swing. INT return for a pick six, and then the two-point conversion good.
And even if you're keeping your wits about you, you're thinking to yourself, okay, extra point block team going into the game now. All of a sudden you're hearing defense. Everyone's scrambling for their helmets and throwing down their cups of water. That's a great position for them to be in, trying to score against that team. A little bit disjointed.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And they gave up the pick six, and now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now, as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go-around?
You should be, just because after what you gave up. But you can't be so cautious as to just really take things in, and now you're not going to play loose enough to give your team a chance to score. But you still have to be careful because those defensive guys, I know the reputation defense guys can't catch. All evidence to the contrary on that last possession, though.
He finds his running back, Hyde. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Give him 9 on the play. And it'll be second and about a yard. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time? Hopefully with a chance to win.
And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. Bortles to Cole for the Jacksonville first.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
380.
Bortles now on first down. Dumps it off to Fournette. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Green 80. Green, it's all right.
Again, they'll throw with Bortles. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
To throw is Bortles. And incomplete. The Jaguars on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 8.
Green 80. Green 80.
Shotgun now for Bortles. Wide open receiver complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
First down, Jacksonville. The passing game looking sharp on this drive for the Jags.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done. Throwing is Bortles. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Bird. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down.
Green 80. Green 80.
Now Bortles again. And his throw is incomplete. Marquise Lee, the intended target. 3rd down here.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
On 3rd down, Fournette. And he's able to pick up the first before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. They'll try and run for it with Fournette. And he'll take this one in for a Jags touchdown. A great effort there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Jaguars make some inroads here on that deficit. And they're able to run it in. It started with the battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how we're going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
And the effort snuffed out. The Texans' hands team recovers. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a 1st down. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Down. Flag 22. Flag 22.
They'll run with Foreman. And past the 30 down to about the 27. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. They run again with Foreman. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. Now this is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop them here.
Reset. Two jet.
Here's Foreman. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively, they burn it here with 1:51 left. They're not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
Reset.
A carry for Foreman. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. And Watson's going to throw it here. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield as it turned out. Couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
Watson. And that is incomplete.
See, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, fourth quarter, maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. They will indeed snap it to Watson. That is caught. Hopkins for the Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, his first touchdown on the year. And the Texans will add on to their lead.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
And they are 3 for 3 on 2-point conversions as he is into the end zone for the score. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Jaguars offense now heads back onto the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. It got his man complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A gain of 32 that time. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Throwing on first down is Bortles. That one complete. He finds Sharp. And he coughed it up. And the Texans say they have it. They do.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. The drive starts with Foreman on the ground. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. Miles Jack there to make the tackle. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college, and we have it in the NFL. The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee, and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Throwing on third down, Watson. He finds his target, Fuller. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here. That'll leave him with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Watson now 10 of 16 throwing the football. It's 1st and 10. Throwing now, Watson. The hook up on the right side to Hopkins. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. That one goes for 36 yards.
And they just hit another big completion there. And I think in days gone by in the NFL, you might have asked, is this a little bit of overkill? Is this rubbing it in? I don't think people feel the same way nowadays.
The age-old argument. Then you could say on the other side, if you're going to get angry. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Will Fuller, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Texans will extend their lead.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes. Carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. Now Watson, he's going to lead the Texans up to go for 2. They'll try and run it here. And they are 3 for 3 on 2-point conversions as he is into the end zone for the score. Up big, and they go for 2, and they get it.
I remember being in high school and seeing an article in the paper where a local columnist had said, why are we fighting over sportsmanship and running up the score? Just run it up on everybody and deal with it. Some people just don't care that way, and obviously this coach feels the exact same way.
So that article is saying the defense should be able to stop them.
That's what they're trying to say. Hey, if you don't want it to happen, stop them. Otherwise, quit whining about it.
The Texans defense heading back out now, ready to get their cracks again. They may have not played their best. Bottom line, I guess, so they're going to get the win.
And that's all that counts when you really get down to it. Winning the ball game. Do they want to do it with style? Do they want to do it with aplomb? Of course. But bottom line, get the win, then you worry about everything else from there on out.
Well, they're going to get that W for sure. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
Green 80.
On 2nd down, here's Bortles. Over the middle, complete. It's Cole. That one a pickup of 15 for Jacksonville. And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game.
Green 80.
One final try now for Bortles. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be. And time has run out now on this game. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Texans,
It'll be a 500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And they will head home next week to take on the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, for Jacksonville, the loss will move them back to 3-2 on the year. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel to Denver to take on the Broncos.